For Sebastian Vettel, a Formula One legend whose passion is literally driving, it should come as no surprise that he's put together quite the car collection. Any petrolhead's paradise, really. With a garage worth up to $13 million, Vettel's pretty much got everything, from Ferraris to proper German muscle and even a car named after him. So if you've ever wondered what a four-time F1 world champion's garage looks like, buckle up as we take a tour of what Vettel drives off track. And yes, he's also sold some of it, but you're still in for a ride. Number 1. Aston Martin Vantage AMR. No doubt racing for Aston Martin's Formula One team comes with a few perks. One of those is owning one of the best cars the automaker has ever produced. Enter the Aston Martin Vantage AMR, a supercar dripping with enough F1-inspired flair that even you might become a racing legend stepping into one. The Vantage AMR, once the baby of the Aston Martin collection, has since grown into quite the supercar in its own right. What's even better is that Vettel probably didn't have to pay a dime to bring this baby home with him. Not long after the Germans signed with the team, they just had him upgrade to this bad boy. What is this Aston Martin anyway? What you see here is a high-performance version of the Vantage with lighter weight, improved handling, and a more track-focused driving experience. Seb's Vantage F1 edition struts in Aston Martin Racing Green, with carbon fiber accents glinting like jewelry. Up front, there's this veined grille blacked out and flanked with front dive planes sharp enough to slice through air. All these add to this car's appeal, but the piece de resistance here is that large fixed rear wing. Paired with a chin spoiler and underbody turning vanes, this aero kit generates up to 400 pounds of downforce at 196 miles per hour. In English, the Vantage AMR will stick to the highway like gum on the back of your shoe. If you're loving the tour so far, hit that like button and drop a comment telling us which F1 driver's garage you'd want to see next. Slide inside and you're met with an Alcantara-lined hug, that phantom gray Alcantara on the seats, doors, and steering wheel, plus a lime green stripe. Now, to address the elephant in the room. Under the hood is a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 actually borrowed from Mercedes AMG, tuned to crank out 535 horsepower and 685 newton-meters of torque. That's enough grunt to hit 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds and then clock out at 200 miles per hour. Vettel handles that kind of speed every day in his line of work. So yeah, if Vettel was going to get any ride from Aston Martin, the Vantage AMR was definitely the way to go, and it only gets better from here. Number 2. Aston Martin DBX. Here's the thing, a man who spent years darting around racetracks at 200 miles per hour would, at times, want to go slower. A lot slower. It's safe to assume that his thirst for speed is satiated on the track, so he swaps his F1 cabin for the plush leather throne of Aston Martin's maiden SUV, the DBX. You know this SUV is far from your average milks and eggs run chariot, but that's definitely what Vettel enlists this guy for. For starters, the DBX perfectly blends the iconic Aston Martin styling and performance with all the versatility of a 4x4. This car has made quite a name for itself thanks to its powerful engine, which we'll be getting into in a minute, agile handling, and luxurious interior. This beauty's exterior is all sculpted curves. The front grille comes blacked out and veined like it's grinning, then flanked by LED headlights. The real drama, though, happens out back. The DBX's taillights stretch across the rear like a neon necklace, and who could forget about this car's 21-inch alloy wheels, ready to go through snow, mud, you name it. Unfortunately, Vettel's DBX isn't publicly known, so we are completely in the dark about the color of his model. Remember that luxurious interior we cued you in on? Step inside and the DBX's cabin is a masterclass in British luxury, quilted leather seats that immediately hug you, along with an abundance of Alcantara. It features a 12.3-inch digital dashboard that literally glows like a spaceship console, while the 10.3-inch infotainment touchscreen sits front and center, offering wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And the cherry on top of this killer SUV sundae? A panoramic sunroof. Don't even go thinking this bad boy doesn't pack quite the punch. The same 4-liter twin-turbo V8 block from the Vantage AMR powers this guy, unleashing 550 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. This 2.3-ton SUV will do 0 to 60 in just 3.1 seconds, an even better time than Vettel's Vantage AMR, while reaching a top speed of 193 miles per hour. Number 3. Ferrari F430. Seb's love affair with Ferrari isn't just limited to his 6 years driving for the Scuderia. No, he went full in his car collection too. At some point, he owned a Ferrari F430, a beauty. Fun fact, after Vettel's unceremonious departure from Scuderia Ferrari back at the end of the 2020 season, he decided, rather painfully, to sell his extensive Ferrari collection. Plus, even legends gotta declutter. However, word on the street is the F430 still remains, gathering dust in his garage. That's how much he loves this iconic classic. And in a few minutes, you should understand why. Well, how about a quick history lesson on this bad boy first? This two-decade-old mid-engine Ferrari was intended to replace the Ferrari 360 model. Pininfarina and Frank Stephenson collaborated on its design, by the way. The outcome? One of the Italian automaker's most popular cars. Vettel's F430 comes in the Ferrari usual, Rosso Corsa red, with sharp curves along its front, which adds to its extremely sleek look. Also up front, twin shark-nose air takes pay homage to the 1961 Ferrari 156 F1, Phil Hill's championship-winning ride, while channeling airflow. Now let's take this tour out back. A rear diffuser borrowed from the Enzo Ferrari, another iconic ride from the Italian automaker, gives this beauty its race day cred. Plus, those vertically stacked taillights glow like one bright neon sign that reads, "Don't even bother, I'm faster than your Prius." The F430's interior perfectly balances Formula One technology with Italian luxury. We're talking about seats wrapped in phantom black leather with optional aluminum trim or carbon fiber. The Manettino dial, mounted right on the steering wheel, allows you to toggle between up to 5 driving modes. Think of that guy as a mood ring for this speed demon. Pop open that hood and there's this powerful hunk of metal, a 4.3-liter Ferrari 136 EV8, mated to a 6-speed F1 electro-hydraulic manual transmission. This Ferrari will rocket from 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and with a top speed of 196 miles per hour, this baby laughs in the face of speed limits. The F430 isn't Vettel's garage queen either. He's been spotted tearing up the back roads of this beauty, a beauty that cost him over $200,000. Number 4. Ferrari California T. You didn't possibly think he'd leave out only a single Ferrari from his whole decluttering, did you? Well, there's one other Ferrari Vettel loves almost as much as his F430, one of his most prized possessions, his Ferrari California T, a grand tourer that balances everyday elegance with raw performance. The California T is one of the most obscure Ferrari models. This guy was introduced back in 2014 and was manufactured for just 3 years. Before production even stopped, its replacement was already lined up, the Ferrari Portofino. Nevertheless, Vettel liked this car. In fact, he bought it the same year he bagged his F40, another Ferrari he still has in his collection, by the way. The California T, like any other Ferrari, is a real head-turner, and Vettel's model sticks with that trend. Coming in hot in a vibrant Rosso Mugello, which is a lustrous Ferrari red, its design actually pays homage to vintages like the 250 Testarossa, with these muscular fenders and a sleek aerodynamic build. The retractable hardtop obviously adds to its appeal, being able to transform from a coupe to a convertible in just 14 seconds, while maintaining its clean lines with or without its roof on. So yeah, Seb can go fast with the wind in his hair and the sun on his skin. Not sure it gets better than that. Other unique features on this bad boy include a matte chrome front grille and darkened exhaust pipes, part of the optional handling special package that the German model boasts. With this package, his California T looks a lot more refined, for starters, but more importantly, its performance DNA is tweaked. The rear, a triple fence diffuser, blending style and function to keep the supercar glued to the highway as you twist and turn at high speeds. Inside, the California T screams Ferrari sophistication, but obviously, Seb wouldn't have it any other way. The 4-time F1 Champs model sports a Cuyo leather interior with aluminum accents and hand-stitched details that give it this sporty yet refined vibe. The cabin? Absolutely driver-focused, with Ferrari's signature F1-inspired steering wheel, complete with controls for the car's dynamic settings and paddle shifters. For a ride, the prancing horse is designed for grand touring, with the 2+2 seating offering just enough space for even weekend getaways, though Vettel's probably more into the whole thrill of the driver's seat. A thrill that wouldn't be possible without its 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8, roaring at 553 horsepower, propelling this beauty from a standstill to 60 in a face-peeling 3.6 seconds. The special handling package also sharpens handling with stiffer springs. Number 5. Mercedes SL65 AMG. Vettel's car collection isn't all Italian stallions and British flair, you know? His garage would literally be incomplete without a proper German muscle car, wouldn't it? Although Seb had never raced for Mercedes, he was always quite fond of the brand's cars. Namely, this beauty, the discontinued SL65 AMG Black Series, a true German beast. Let's uncover this gift that keeps on giving, or in this case, selling. You'll get that in a moment. This car comes with a neat little backstory, too. Picture this. The year is 2009, and a baby-faced Sebastian Vettel has just come out on top in the inaugural Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. To celebrate this monumental occasion, the race organizers gifted him this bad boy, a move definitely bigger than spraying champagne on the podium. Why the SL65 AMG, though? Simple answer, really. Simple answer, really, because this is quite the ride. What you're looking at is a carbon fiber clad statement. Mercedes took the basic SL65, threw out the folding roof, and replaced it with a fixed carbon lid. The result of this is an extremely sleek roofline. It's also got this more aggressive styling. We're talking wider wheel arches, a front splitter that hugs the tarmac, and this retractable rear spoiler. The German automaker also put the SL65 AMG through this major weight loss program, shedding up to 250 kilograms. Mercedes ditched luxury fluff for better performance. Still, at 1,870 kilograms, it's not a total featherweight. But hey, who needs to go super light when you've got twin turbos? Taking this tour inside, no frills here, just Alcantara and carbon fiber everything. From the one-piece bucket seats, customized for Seb, no doubt, to the dashboard trim, this guy is every carbon fiber addict's paradise. Built with a twin-turbocharged 6-liter V12, Mercedes literally had to detune this guy to avoid shredding the gearbox. Performance? Oh, just 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds and an incredible top speed of 200 miles per hour. The SL65 AMG is also capable of cranking out 670 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque, a true trophy on wheels. But there's just one tiny problem. Corners are not really its forte. As Top Gear put it, driving this beast through bends is like trying to second-guess a roller coaster. Well, while this is definitely one insane supercar, Vettel, after switching to Aston Martin, parted with this German gem. Coincidence? Probably. Or maybe he was making room for a fleet of British cars. Number 6. Infiniti FX Vetel Edition. Not many people get to have a plush, limited edition SUV named after them. And then again, not everyone's sitting on 4 consecutive F1 World Championships. Nestled among his other beasts is this beast that's equal parts branding and brawn, the Infiniti FX Vetel Edition. From looks alone, you can probably already tell that this guy isn't the fastest or most jaw-dropping car in his garage. Nevertheless, what you're looking at is one of the oldest rides in Vettel's collection. That's how much he loves this Infiniti FX. Time for a little trip down memory lane. Back in Vettel's Red Bull racing heyday, Infiniti, Nissan's luxury arm, slapped their logo on his Formula One car and thought, rather than making a car for him, let's make one with him. The outcome of that thought process? A limited edition SUV that's part dadmobile and part race car, if you can believe that. Only 150 were ever made worldwide, and you already know who got the first one. Get this, the Infiniti FX might be an SUV, but it isn't shy about its racing roots, because Sebastian was asked to design this bad boy. Its front splitter mimics Vettel's RB8 race car, while the rear diffuser has this cheeky F1-inspired fog light. Even its wing mirrors are carbon-clad. Infiniti still keeps things lush all the way into the FX's cockpit. Slide inside and you're welcomed with luxury. The seats are covered in Alcantara with purple stitching, Infiniti's signature color. There's even a laser-cut Vettel logo on the headrests, so you don't forget whose car this is. But it's not all glamour. There are still some questionable plastics lurking in the dashboard, a reminder that even project cars have budget cuts. At its core is a naturally aspirated 5-liter V8 engine tuned to 420 horsepower, up from 390 in the standard FX, and 380 pound-feet of torque. This beauty's exhaust roars like a lion. Rumors have it that Infiniti's Japanese execs hated the noise, but who cares really when you can hit 0 to 60 in a little over 5 seconds with a top speed of 186 miles per hour. The car also uses a 7-speed automatic transmission with taller upper gears. So, is this a sports car? Absolutely not. This car is massive, but it does cut corners and handles like a sports car. When asked about his custom ride, Vettel said, "It fits my daily life perfectly." Translation? Even F1 legends need groceries, and with a top speed of over 180 miles per hour, we bet he's the fastest guy in the Trader Joe's parking lot. Number 7. 1993 McLaren MP48. If Sebastian Vettel's collection were a museum, then this iconic beauty would be the exhibit with velvet rope and a giant "Do Not Touch" sign. Except, well, he does touch it a whole lot. In fact, he's been spotted a few times grinning ear to ear like a kid on Christmas while driving around in this classic. This just might be Vettel's most prized possession. Apparently, Seb went all in on the 93 MP48 because his dad was a big Ayrton Senna fan. So this was really just a full circle moment for him. What you're looking at isn't just some relic. It's a roaring carbon fiber clad love letter to the golden era of Formula One. Time for a history lesson. The MP48 is the car Ayrton Senna wrestled to 5 wins back in 1993, including that record-breaking 6th Monaco victory, in the rain. Fast forward a couple of decades, and it's now piloted by another 4-time champ who's quite clearly having the time of his life keeping its legacy alive. Now let's get a good look at this bad boy. First things first, that red and white Marlboro livery. So 90s iconic. The MP48's design is a true masterclass in aerodynamics finesse. Even all these years later, with barge boards, which was a first for McLaren, by the way, and an incredibly light carbon fiber chassis. Moving to the back, you're greeted by this massive rear wing. Depending on the race, McLaren would often slap on configurations ranging from airplane wing impersonator to subtle spatula. Step inside, if Vettel ever let you, and you'd find a cabin that's literally part time capsule and spaceship. Its steering wheel is ridiculously minimalist. No touchscreens here, just buttons and a round wheel Senna gripped through Monaco's hairpins. This classic semi-automatic paddle shift transmission was pretty much cutting edge back in '93, allowing drivers to change gears without even lifting a foot. Now for the underdog of Senna's incredible feat, that 3,494cc Ford HBD7 V8 engine. While Senna's rivals had engines that roared like thunder, the MP48's powertrain was more of a polite cough, delivering just 680 horsepower. There's a reason Seb totally adores this ride. For him, it's more than just a classic sitting in his garage, it's a connection to Ayrton Senna himself. Back in 2024, he even took it for a spin on race day in Imola, a tribute to an F1 legend. And finally, 8 incredible cars later, we've reached the end of another mind-blowing car collection. So tell us, which of these rides would you want to take for a spin someday? Drop your favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we've got more legendary collections coming your way.